Good morning. So we're on our way from Nassau to St. Martin. This is after about 24 hours. We've come 160 nautical miles. It's been rough sailing. Had the wind straight in our face. So we're having to tack our way down through Exuma Sound. We'll be exiting Exuma Sound here in a couple hours out onto the Atlantic Ocean. The waves have been moderately nasty, so we've been banging right along. Winnie's down below sleeping. Morning watch, had a cup of coffee, nothing to eat yet. Get to that a little later. And unfortunately, the weather reports say that we're going to have this kind of weather for the next 4 or 5 days. The wind's going to stay the same direction, which is straight out of the east. And the waves are going to be pretty much the same. Looks like maybe we're going to get really heavy winds in about 2 or 3 days. We're going to have to see. That means we might have to make a bailout stop somewhere, Puerto Rico or something. Well, good morning, everyone. This is the second day. We're sailing, right now we're sailing past Turks and Caicos. Waves are treating us nicely. We have some sunshine. We've got the sails up. But we're still sailing uphill, which means we've got the wind right in our nose. It makes it chilly, which is why I'm wearing a fleece. It's actually quite warm out. Looks like the weather window is going to hold for a couple more days. We're going to take a weather report here in a few minutes to see what that says. It's hard work sailing uphill, and we're going to be sailing uphill for at least the next 3 or 4 days, so it's going to be hard work. Winnie had a dog watch, and it started raining right when she came up, and it quit raining right when she went down, so I was lucky and she wasn't. But that's the way it goes. So all in all, we're hanging in there. We've got another 600 nautical miles to go, maybe 650, so 4 days. But we'll see what happens. Well, hello guys, here we are. Please note that Winnie is not in her Scottish bikini. She's not in a regular bikini either, but in a t-shirt. She has a pair of shorts on, so we are getting down where the weather's a little warmer. The sun is shining, even though there's a little cloud over us right now. We had a squall a while ago that went through. Fortunately, I was taking a noon nap, so Winnie took care of that one by herself. She had a couple more during the night, didn't you, sweetheart? Have a couple of squalls during the night.
Yeah. Very wet.
Women moan and bitch, moan and bitch and bitch and moan, just because she got a midnight shower. Oh dear. Well, at any rate, we're sailing along doing 7 knots here under full sail. The seas are reasonable, and life is pretty good. We've seen a weather report. There's some nasty nasties coming in tomorrow, so we're actually going to be passing by a marina in a place called Provincals, which is in the Turks and Caicos Islands, and we're going to just zip in there, I think, and relax for a night, and then we'll continue onward the next day. This is Blue Haven Marina in the Turks and Caicos. Notice the absolutely magnificent color of the water. But the reason I'm showing this is that, look over here. See all those poles? Well, between those poles there used to be exactly what is here, a floating dock or floating docks. But the hurricane came through, and this is what's left. All this was totally ripped out completely. And they're still obviously trying to get things repaired. Over there, That used to be a little Harbor Beach bar. It's pretty much destroyed now. It's beautiful weather today. We have half a weather window, so Winnie and I are taking off for St. Martin. We'll see how far we get. Okay, good morning all. I'm standing here in the lee of the spray hood, because otherwise you probably wouldn't be able to hear me because of the wind. We're between Turks and Caicos and Tortola. We got 300 nautical miles to go. We've come about almost 200 maybe. We had 3 days of this as we fought our way from Nassau down through Exumas and across parts of the Atlantic, where we finally bailed out at the Turks and Caicos. Slept it out for a night and part of the next day, and then we took off again because the weather window is not going to get any better as far as the eye can see, as the weather forecasts are. So we're out in it again. 20-25 knots right in the nose. The weather report's saying that the waves here are about 2.5, maybe as much as 3 meters, and we concur. So that's like 7 to 10 feet. Capri is fighting hard, so she's a game boat, and that's fine. We're doing all right, but we're doing 6.5 knots over ground and sometimes 8.5 knots through the water as she tries to fight her way up and down these waves. We've got a second reef in our Genoa, our main foresail. Second reef in our mainsail, and we're still blasting along. Winnie says this is about as hard of a sail as we've been out in, and I tend to agree with her. If you look, see, she's just hanging on to the backstay and the target bar, and the reason she's hanging on like that is that if she wasn't, then literally she'd be sliding across that stern seat down to the other side. We have squalls all night long. You'll be nothing better than getting totally drenched in the dark where you can't see anything. Winnie caught most of the squalls. Oh, that was a big roller just went by. I caught a wave that burst in over top of Capri, and it threw so much water. It was like someone stood over me and simply turned a bathtub full of water over, dumping I don't know how many gallons right on top of me. It physically hurt to get hit by all that water, whatever speed it was coming at. In a minute I'm going to go up and do some footage of Capri and the waves, but I'm not going to say anything because there's so much wind out there. I think there's going to be plenty of wind noise on the tape, and you won't be able to hear me say anything anyway. So we get at least another 2 days of this. Like, my God, it's a shower and a gin and tonic going to taste good. It's bath day today, so a little later today Winnie and I are going to strip down and take a bath. That means you hold on with one hand while you try to scrub yourself with the other. Monster right there.